But in the fourth world and beyond, there is completely a different time system. Among our people, there are certain ways to refer to time. And you have to understand that our people didn't have clocks or any kind of ways to measure the minutes and the seconds and the hours of the day. But generally, it was referred to as one great big time period, and they would call it Ni'ika. Ni'ika covers a night and a day. But the daytime is also referred to as from the morning, mid-morning, noon, afternoon, evening, and then nighttime. And then in the nighttime, then you have that midnight, and then back to the dawn hours. Ahayotka is referred to as when they understand that the first light appear to the east before the sun comes up. And then it is a time period when they say Hos-Eid, which is to refer to the time when there's actually light enough that you can actually see in and around you. And then Ha'i'a is when the sun has actually come up. And so there's probably about 4 references to that time period, because the first one, in certain seasons of the year, they say Dilyahakai, which is referring to a certain group of stars. And then comes the time when there's just a faint light, and then the visible the objects around you with enough light, and then finally when the sun comes up. But there's also that time before noontime. Ha'i'a, that is how they refer to it. And then when the sun is overhead, they say Asni na'a, asnina. And then when the sun continues to go across the sky, when it's between noontime and evening time, that part there is called Hish'e. Hish'e. And then finally, when the sun goes down, and A'i'a, and then finally Chahothed, and then it is Eithni, which is midnight. Now they measure the midnight by the North Star, which is considered a fire in the middle. And there's the male on one side and the females on the other side, each facing each other across the fire. And so when those are set in a certain way, where the man is on the left and the woman is on the right, then that is midnight. And so that was the way that time period was told and observed. But when I was growing up in the sweat lodge, we talked about time periods and the time of existing in the first world. And it was a time when life came to everyone, or all living life forms. And that is referred to as a specific moment or a specific time. And then we have that existence in a different time period in the second world, where we were spirit beings. Is what they referred to ourselves at that particular time. And then finally, as we come into this world, then we become a surface person on Mother Earth, and we are 5-fingered beings. And so that's the third world that we are in now. Now there's a lot of discrepancy. There's a lot of people, our own people even, that don't understand that this time period is in the third world. When we had these discussions with the old people in the sweat lodge and referring to this particular time, you always have to recognize that this is the yellow corn pollen path existence. It is the yellow world. And everything that reproduces life, it comes from the substance that is yellow. Tadatin, which is the corn pollen, and the insect have their own pollen to reproduce, and the bird, when you crack an egg, the yolk in the middle is yellow. And the animals also have their ways of reproducing with their yellow pollen. It's just as the humankind. So there's no disputing at all, as this being the third world and the yellow world, we are brought into existence by yellow pollen. And this is the yellow corn pollen path existence, which is this particular time. Now when they talk about the next world, which is very important to understand, everything is based on 4. In this world, everything is based on 4. It's not saying that it is a fourth world. Everything is based on four so we can know how to live in the next world, which is the fourth world. But even the fourth world has a different time, a different way that time would be measured. And when we talked about the idea of time in the Sweat Lodge, it was always that that time that we understand is only for here, as we understand time. That the time when we were in the first world, that was a different time of way of measuring time. In the second world, there was also a different way to tell time. So it is that we understand time in this world, and particularly by the clock. And so that is the way that we calculate time here. But they say in the next world, that time is a different way to be understood. And so it is that the teaching of our people regarding time. And if you think about it, and they say ahol ago, which means into the eternity. And so us as a being, we are eternal beings. We are beings that will be in existence forever. And so it is that is a different time entirely. Time is only that we understand it for this particular existence here in the third world, but in the fourth world and beyond, there is completely a different time system. And so it is that one time one of them said, Atahonetiki, or the things that is happening, happens on the holy people's time. The holy people have their own time, and we don't understand the holy people's time. And that is the way it is, and those are the things that we are told.